Triple H just made the biggest mistake of his entire career as WWE's chief content officer. He knew who was attacking Bron Breakker for weeks, he had all the evidence, and he did absolutely nothing. And now, after what happened on Raw last night, Bron Breakker might never be the same again. The identity of this attacker is going to make your blood boil, and the reason Triple H covered it up is even worse. But before I reveal who this mystery attacker is, why Triple H protected them, and the massive backstage argument that happened after Raw went off the air, you need to subscribe to Ring Rumble 1 right now. Hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell, because mainstream wrestling media is not covering this story the way it needs to be covered. They're protecting WWE's image, but I'm here to give you the unfiltered truth. We're building the realest wrestling community on YouTube, and if you care about what actually happens behind the curtain, you need to be part of this. Subscribe now, because this story is about to get even crazier in the coming weeks, and you don't want to miss a single update. Alright, let's break down this absolute disaster that unfolded on Raw last night, and more importantly, let's talk about Triple H's role in this complete and utter failure to protect one of his biggest rising stars. For those who haven't been following, Bron Breakker has been absolutely destroying everyone in his path on Raw. The man is a legitimate beast, second-generation superstar, incredible athleticism, raw intensity, and the kind of presence that makes you believe he could be the next big thing in WWE. He's exactly the type of talent Triple H loves to build around. But for the past month, someone has been targeting Braun in the most vicious, calculated way possible. We're not talking about normal wrestling rivalry attacks. We're talking about dangerous, career-threatening incidents that have been escalating week after week. It started small. Braun's gear went missing before a match. Then his water bottle was found tampered with, and yes, WWE actually had it tested, and there were substances in it that could have seriously harmed him. Then came the physical attacks. Braun was jumped in the trainer's room. He was blindsided with a steel chair backstage. Someone sabotaged the ring ropes during one of his matches, and Braun nearly got seriously injured. And through all of this, what did Triple H do? He gave us the corporate PR response. We're investigating. Security is looking into it. We take talent safety very seriously. Bull. Complete and total bull. Because sources inside WWE have been telling me for weeks that Triple H knew exactly who was behind these attacks. He had security footage, he had eyewitness accounts, he had everything he needed to stop this. But he didn't. And last night, we all found out why. Raw last night was supposed to be Bron Breakker's moment. He was scheduled for a massive Intercontinental Championship opportunity against the current champion. This was his chance to capture his first main roster title and cement himself as a top-tier WWE superstar. The crowd was hot for Braun. The energy in that arena was electric. Braun made his entrance, looking absolutely fired up and ready to make history. The champion came out next, and you could feel the anticipation building. The bell rang, and these two started putting on an instant classic. Hard-hitting action, incredible athleticism, the crowd was going insane. But then, 12 minutes into the match, the lights went out. When the lights came back on, Bron Breakker was laid out in the middle of the ring. Not just down, we're talking completely unconscious. The champion was in the corner looking confused and concerned. The referee immediately called for medical attention. And the crowd was in shock because nobody saw what happened. Triple H's music hit. The chief content officer himself walked out onto the stage, and you could see he was furious. H called out the attacker, and from the crowd, not from backstage, not from the entrance ramp, but from the crowd, out stepped Gunther. Now, let me explain why this is absolutely insane and why the wrestling world is in complete meltdown right now. Gunther is supposed to be WWE's ultimate professional. The ring general. The man who respects the business, who does things the right way, who represents everything pure about professional wrestling. This is the guy who held the Intercontinental Championship for over 600 days with honor and dignity. This is not the guy who attacks people in the dark and runs away. But as Gunther stood there in the ring, staring down at Braun's unconscious body, something was different about him. The look in his eyes wasn't the focused, disciplined Gunther we know. This was something darker, something more dangerous. And when he grabbed the microphone, what he said sent chills through that arena. Gunther said, "You want to know why? Because Bron Breakker represents everything that is wrong with modern WWE. He's handed opportunities because of his last name. He's pushed to the moon because he looks the part. He gets title shots he hasn't earned. And Triple H, you are the one enabling this. The crowd was torn. Some people were booing Gunther for the attacks, but others were actually agreeing with his points. Because let's be honest, there is some truth to what he was saying. Bron Breakker has gotten opportunities quickly. He is a second-generation star. And WWE does have a history of pushing people based on genetics and look. But then Gunther continued, I spent 666 days as Intercontinental Champion. I defended the title with pride against anyone who wanted it. I elevated the championship to heights it hadn't seen in decades. And what did I get? I got discarded. I lost my title, I got moved around, and I watched as Triple H started building his new toys. Well, I'm not going to let that happen again. And that's when it clicked for everyone. This wasn't just about Braun. This was about Gunther feeling disrespected by Triple H's regime. This was about Gunther believing that all his hard work, all his dedication, all his time making WWE look legitimate was thrown away the moment someone younger and flashier came along. Now, Triple H's response was absolutely pathetic, and this is where I'm going to call him out directly. He told Gunther, I didn't reveal this earlier because I wanted to give you a chance to stop. I respected everything you've done for this company, and I thought you'd come to your senses. Are you kidding me? Triple H let Bron Breakker get attacked multiple times, let him potentially consume poisoned water, let him get ambushed with weapons, all because he respected Gunther too much to publicly call him out. That's not respect, that's negligence. That's putting personal relationships above talent safety. That's exactly the kind of backstage politics that Triple H claimed he would end when he took over WWE. And you know what makes this even worse? Sources backstage told me that Adam Pearce begged Triple H to reveal Gunther's identity after the second attack. Medical staff demanded that Gunther be suspended after the water tampering incident. Multiple wrestlers told Triple H they didn't feel safe with Gunther running around unchecked. Honestly, he had every right to be angry. Adam Pearce reportedly told Triple H, I told you so, and walked out of the meeting. Michael Cole, who rarely gets involved in backstage politics, allegedly said this was irresponsible management. Even some of the producers were questioning Triple H's decision-making. But here's what really gets me angry, Gunther apparently had a smirk on his face during all of this. He knows he's untouchable now. He knows that Triple H's failure to act earlier means WWE can't just fire him or bury him. Gunther has all the leverage now because Triple H's cover-up makes WWE legally and publicly liable for everything that happened to Braun. And here's where this gets even more twisted. There are rumors, and I want to stress these are rumors but from very reliable sources, that Gunther might not be working alone. Some people backstage believe that other former Imperium members might be involved. Others think certain veterans who feel pushed aside by Triple H's new regime might be supporting Gunther behind the scenes. Think about it. Gunther successfully orchestrated weeks of attacks without getting caught on camera. He knew exactly when security would be looking elsewhere. He knew Braun's schedule, his routines, his vulnerable moments. That takes inside information. That takes help. And if that's true, if there is a group of disgruntled WWE stars who feel like Triple H abandoned them for the next generation, then we're not just looking at a Gunther versus Bron Breakker feud, we're looking at a potential war that could split the entire roster. So where does WWE go from here? Bron Breakker is out indefinitely with a concussion. Gunther has positioned himself as a legitimate threat who believes he's fighting for a righteous cause. And Triple H has completely destroyed his credibility as a leader who puts talent safety first. The wrestling world is demanding answers. Fans are furious. The locker room is in chaos. And Triple H has nobody to blame but himself. This is the biggest leadership failure we've seen in WWE since Triple H took over, and the consequences are going to be massive. Gunther versus Bron Breakker could be an incredible feud, but it came at the cost of Triple H's integrity and Braun's health. Now I want your opinion in the comments. Was Gunther justified in his reasoning even if his methods were wrong? Did Triple H make the right call trying to handle this quietly? And who else do you think might be involved in this conspiracy? Sound off below. And if you want to stay updated on this developing story without the corporate filter, subscribe to Ring Rumble 1 now. Hit that notification bell because this situation is far from over. We're going to keep following this, keep digging, and keep bringing you the truth. This is Ring Rumble 1, and we'll see you in the next one.